Good. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the hub. Just wanted to thank you guys for doing the survey and hope you guys have been enjoying the small changes that we've been doing. But for today's episode, I have an individual that's into a number of things from startups to many big community organizing events. His name is Sarbdeep Singh. So I'm going to have him introduce himself and tell us sort of what he does.
What's up, y'all? Thank you for having me on here at Tinder. So yeah, man, long story short, Tinder just wanted to talk a little bit about like the Khalsa Aid work, what we're doing, and then some of the stuff we've done with Csya, California Sikh Youth Alliance, the powerlifting event that was kind of like surfaced at a few areas. But yeah, bro, I'll let you take the reins.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna start off with the most relevant thing that's going on, and that's coronavirus. And I think for coronavirus, like you were one of the first people I saw start posting on social media, hey, KhalsaAid is starting this, like we're gonna start trying to deliver food to like those in need and all that type of stuff. So can you sort of explain like what the step was and why you guys started that, like, or the prompt response, I would say?
Yeah, sure. So like originally, like what we do with KhalsaAid in the Bay Area is we go out once a month to like Oakland, Berkeley. We'll serve about 150 to 200 folks. We'll take like food. So we'll take like sandwich bags. Like it'll be like a Ziploc bag we'll make with like 2 sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly, no meat. Cause a lot of Sangha that's donating has been like, oh, you know, like we just want to make it vegetarian. So like, it's okay. Like it's, so we have that. We'll put like soda in there, water, some nutritious snacks. And then we'll always take like beanies, gloves, toothpaste, toothbrush. So we'll usually just ask them like, hey, what essential needs do you need? And we'll try to bring them out next time. Like there's been blankets, there's been a bunch of that stuff. And then if anybody that's watching this, if you're willing to share, we actually compiled a list of like online where we're finding certain deals like beanies for 50 cents, toothbrushes for like 15 cents, you know what I mean? So it's just like, so you can stretch your money a lot longer and it doesn't take a lot essentially to do this stuff, you know what I mean? And especially with the organization like KhalsaAid, where there's so many folks donating, we want them to know that their money is being very well spent, very strategically, you know, stretched out at our maximum capacity. So in any case, going back to the coronavirus. So with this, so it's kind of like my grandfather is a bit elder and like we're a typical Desi family, right? 3 generations living together. So with him, I was just like, you know, let me go get whatever groceries you need. Let me go get your medicine or whatever. And then we were just like, you know what, like with this KhalsaAid stuff right now, we're not sure what's happening. So we're not sure if we should be out going to Oakland and Berkeley where these homeless people, because it was like at the beginning stages of this and we didn't know, like, you know, what type of PPE is going to be needed, what type of monster it is. So we're like, there's 2 things, you know, if we go out and we don't know what this is yet or how to protect ourselves, we're putting them at risk by giving them things that we've touched, these homeless folks, and vice versa, you know what I mean? So the whole goal is for us, our volunteers, to stay protected as well as those that we're serving. So with coronavirus, we're like, hey, but I mean, like that's somewhere where we can help out, you know, where there's a need right now. And we're just like, all right, whatever, we'll just see if people need help. So myself and a few other folks, we just post on our stories. And then a bunch of responses started coming through and we're like, oh man, like, what do we do now? Like, it's not in terms of serving, but we're like, how do we sort this out? Like, you know what I mean? And it's funny because like, it's more been like not even our own community reaching out. And that's fine, you know what I mean? Because it's just to help whoever. But I thought like there was some beauty in that, in finding that like a lot of our own community didn't need to reach out or like immunocompromised or financially like, you know, affected. They're living with other folks and they know folks already who are helping them. So it's kind of beautiful to see like, all right, you know, hopefully they're already taken care of. So not saying that we won't help them. It's just like, oh, you know, a lot of them are already taken care of. So whoever just hits us up, we're going to help them. Like that's what KhalsaAid always does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then actually, I think it was San Jose, Prince and his guys, San Jose, they're going out of Milpitas, Gordra. So they started Sikh Pantry at the same time. And there's like, hey,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And they compiled an online a forum. So just like you just send out a link and people just figure out, hey, here's my name, address. I'm requesting service because, you know, I'm elder, immunocompromised, financially affected, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be super detailed, but just so we know that, you know, we're placing the Sanghat's money at correct places. And then they have like a set list of things that like, hey, you know, like onions, potatoes, tomatoes, things like that, a few vegetables we're just going to buy in bulk and stock up. Other than that, if there are any like special needs, like let us know, we'll try to get to those, you know what I mean? And then Stockton, the guys out there, it was like Sevi, Sokoman, Pali, Grenade, Amritpal, those guys out there in the San Joaquin County, Harmonpreet, all those guys, they started it. And so we realized that their systems were working better with the forum, so we implemented a forum as well.
Got it.
And then now, like Sacramento, those guys were Sharanjit and his crew, they wanted to start up. So we kind of just implemented the same thing with them. And for those that are watching, and what we've been asking is we've kind of like made a doc of a step-by-step, like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we can achieve it. You could just find like your local gurdwara, just talk to your committee, or like your garage and just store stuff in there. Like us personally, we're using El Soprano Gurdwara Langar because no longer is being made right now. I believe in San Jose they're using Milpitas Gurdwara, and then Stockton guys they're using just like their backyards and garages, and then Sacramento's also using Gurdwara. So we kind of made that doc, and like I'm saying, for anybody that's watching this, if they want to start up, like we'll walk you guys through everything. Khalsa Aid will take care of everything. You just need the manpower. You know what I mean? So we can service more areas that are needed.
Yeah.
And there have been some requests that like now, so when we buy in bulk, we'll buy like diapers, baby formula, and like women's maxi pads as well, because those are things that end up being needed. So yeah, we're just trying to run from that.
Yeah. How has how many people fill out the forum? Like how many deliveries would you guys say like you guys do?
The most populated areas that are, or I should say the most dense areas are San Jose and San Joaquin County. San Jose, those guys are doing about, I believe, 150 deliveries a week. And same with Stockton. And then we have the Bay Area, which is us, like in the East Bay. We were getting about like 40 or 50 a week or so. Now they've slowed down, and I think, and we were speaking to all these guys, and they're all slowing down. I guess either because of stimulus checks or something, or either there's people like reaching out to other programs, or thirdly, what we're thinking is, some folks might just be like, oh, we've already gotten help from these guys once, we can't get help from them again. I mean, so that's actually what we're doing right now is we're going through that list of previous deliveries and calling them and just like, hey, you got to drop off last time. Do you need anything else? Just let us know. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, nice.
Folks. But yeah, so it's been kind of a learning process, but I think the coolest thing was like we've also learned a lot from like our homies at Sikh Pantry, the ones who started Sikh Pantry in San Jose and Stockton, because they were like, they didn't sit there and think about it. They were just like, let's just run with it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like we'll just go as we learn, because right now we need to do this seva, and like we'll just see what happens. And like it's popping off out there. Like they're getting, and I think the thing is like also when we put out our flyers, a lot of those somehow hit San Joaquin County. And I had a few folks that work in like social welfare programs out there call me, and they've kind of referred it to a lot of their clients. So we're trying to do that same expansion here right now. And then there's like another one of my friends, Sakshi Wali, she works for the state. I forget what center she works for. So what she did now is like they had these centers put the form up on their website. So we're hoping that starts bringing in more people that need it. You know what I mean? And just strategically trying to expand, and then also see like where else we can help.
Yeah. So for the food that you guys give, does Khalsa Aid provide funding for you guys to donate that food, or is it like a charge?
I mean, we're Khalsa Aid chapter. So literally we're just Khalsa Aid. So yeah, it's like Khalsa Aid itself, and then there's also just been a lot of local Sangha donating as well. So yeah, it's kind of balancing the two.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of desis, like surprisingly, a lot of desis weren't the ones reaching out. So what type of people were reaching out? If that's like.
So I mean, every other I should say culture or race.
Yeah.
We've had a few Desi folks reach out, where it's been a few uncles that are kind of like could you guys like bring me some stuff or whatever, and then we'll go, and then you'll just kind of chat it up. And it's also been like a learning experience, because they're just like, wow, man, I mean, like, I wish I could do more and things like that. And I think whenever you do this type of stuff, it shouldn't be for your own like personal fulfillment or whatever, but it does teach you lessons, and you should learn those lessons. You know what I mean? And I guess it just teaches you not to take what you have for granted, because like you go out there and you're like, wow, like all, man, excuse my French, all the shit that I have, wow, like I didn't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, that's like everyone has that, you know what I mean? So it's just like it makes you count blessings. So yeah, there hasn't been, at least for us, a lot of Desi folks reaching out. There have been some, and I don't know. I think it's just because like elder folks live with younger families, things like that.
Yeah.
And maybe upbringing are a little bit more like like we'll check up and we'll take care and stuff like that. That's just our culture. You know what I mean? But yeah, every other race mostly we've had a decent bit.
Okay, that's good. And how about getting sevadaars? Have you had any troubles of like sevadaars like being a little scared, to go out and like deliver the goods and all that, or has it been like a good amount of sevadaars coming out?
Man. So like with our regular berry, the monthly stuff that we do, there's always just been people hitting us up off this stuff, like off our personal accounts or the Khalsa Aid account when we post like every month. And that's one of the reasons we post is so the Sangha knows where their money is going. B is just like so more people will get involved because like honestly like we saw that stuff and then like I mean you were also there when we met Ravi Singh at USM, right? We met Ravi Singh and Omar, and Omar is actually like the director of USA, and he lives local in Fairfield, so we've just been running a lot with him. But essentially, it's like we saw people doing those things, and we're like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to do it." You know what I mean? And then so that's honestly just helped us like inadvertently like done two things at once: help the Sangha know their money's being put to well use, but also like, "Hey, I've always want to get involved." This that like I met a few folks who were in my area who I've never met before at the Gurdwara, and people are like, "Yo, I've always been following Khalsa Aid. I want to get involved with Khalsa Aid." And I was like, "Yeah, man, like we just got involved like what, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, like as well." You know what I mean? So there's been an influx of people just constantly hitting us up, like, "Why do you driver cheda? Whatever you guys need." And then because we already kind of had that. We had like a WhatsApp group chat of about like 50, 60 folks for the East Bay area for the monthly stuff we do. So we just kind of like just posted like, "Hey, whoever's down, like we're just gonna do it." You know what I mean? And then amongst additional people hitting us up. And then for San Jose guys, I think they just start off with like Prince and a few friends and his parents, and more people just got involved. David Stockton, just a group of friends got involved. Sacramento, same thing. And then in Fresno, I don't know if you saw like a week or two ago, the Root guys, they did like the Garby guys have Khalsa Trucking, and another homie has like Jima Trucking, one of their friends. So then they got together, I think about like 60,000 pounds of food, like 2 whole trucks full, and just kind of ran it. And it was just like, we were having the conversation with Donrup, but Donrup was like, "Bro, I'd never done something like this before." And it was just like, man, like he just like, bro, during the event, it was like, like, he was like, "I don't even know what's going on. Just the appe, like, Guru Kari Janda si,
It's crazy, man.
He's like, "Sanu ke cheez da katta nahi piya." Like, we need this. And like, we turn around, there's 10 more of it right there. You know what I mean? He's like, we'll just, and I think it's just like the way our community is, bro, the bond like just gets involved themselves. You know what I mean? And I think that's what the beauty of it is.
And I think it's like happening everywhere too. Like I saw even like KhalsaAid Arizona, like the Arizona chapter, and like they're doing the same thing. And like even our local, like my local Gurdwara too, like we've been doing seva every week and donating meals. Like I think it's just been like awesome journey. Like good for our Sangha, especially at this time.
Yeah, I think it's on multiple facets, bro. It's like it helps us Sangha to reason like what we actually need to be doing. You know what I mean? And it's like in today's day of world and the common like hustle and bustle of everyday life, we forget the very essential basics, right? So it reminds you that you need to do those. And then if anything, it brings us Sangha and the community a lot closer. It's kind of the bonding activity. But yeah, man, and it's like we're trying to do the best that we can with the shortage of supplies that we have. We're still trying to make sure that every driver has like gloves, face mask, hand sanitizer, and then this disinfectant spray for the dashboard. And those rules we've also implemented that, hey, when you come home, don't go back to the hub where all the food is being stored, wherever your hub may be. For us, it's go to a Langar hall. Go straight home, shower, throw your kapra in the laundry, and just like then go about your day. And it's just just trying to stick with it.
That's good. You had mentioned a little earlier that like how like KhalsaAid was growing and like especially in the Bay Area and like people were hitting you up. So can you sort of explain like, I mean, for myself recently over the past years when I started noticing like KhalsaAid was in the US, I think like there was a lot more posts and stuff. So can you sort of explain like what that growth, like how that occurred and like, or why there's like much more like involvement of KhalsaAid here now?
Is the train in the background bothering you, the noise?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I was like, so I can mute it for a second then.
No, you're good.
Okay, so KhalsaAid is definitely expanding. I think Omar is like due a lot of credit for that. It's like I think around the time that we actually met up at USM, all of us, that's when they were trying to start. I think, and that's when like the Chico fires happened, the Paradise fires happened. So we're kind of going out to those things. And then last year we're just like these type of things. Knock on wood, we're not hoping they happen every day, but when they do happen, we'll be there. But there's also so much more that we could do, you know what I mean? And something that we should go keep like an ongoing thing. So then that's when like we started with the Oakland and Berkeley monthly thing. And then on top of that, now there's this thing. And what we're hoping that this turns into is like, this just turns into a regular food pantry. Like all of us that have started it, plus we could start more, more hubs. And it just turns into like an ongoing food hub, you know what I mean? After Corona and whatever it is. Cause it's just like, that's what our Gurdwaras should be, you know what I mean? And whether you talk about Gurdwara funding, whether you talk about some donations, whether you talk about KhalsaAid itself, like we will always find the funding to do that, you know what I mean? And that's just another like facet of the font, right? And it's just like, so we might as well keep that rolling if it's there, keep it for like Samgat who needs it, people who like are financially affected on a regular basis and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And I think for KhalsaAid, it also helps weed out, how serious certain individuals are before just going to going on international missions and that. Because you want to make sure when folks are going on international missions, they're gonna, they're gonna spend their time wisely. They're gonna do everything there. You know what I mean? And we just don't want to be one of the an organization that just has folks going out there, and, because that's also some good money, some good time, and all that. We want to make sure we're on top of our A game. And it's a chance to all get to know each other before, and kind of just work through things like that. It's kind of like the grassroots of, I'll say.
Okay, nice. And what's your involvement? Like, what's your involvement been like? Because I know you're very active within the organization.
I'm actually in charge of all the Bay Area chapters, kind of Northern California. We're just trying to expand. So like the only actual official position is Omar's. Omar is like the director of USA. And we're just kind of like his guinea pigs.
Okay, that's good. And
we're all just volunteers, bro. There's no hierarchy or anything like that. We all just kind of there's a few of us that are just working closely with Omar just to make sure that we're researching where to get the supplies and things like that, that list I mentioned earlier. Or we borrowed one of my friend's cards for Pitco. Pitco is kind of like Jetro. It's like a Food Max. It's kind of like a restaurant depot, right?
Okay.
Costco for restaurants, so we'll go there, just making sure. So we kind of strategically split up. Hey, Jag, you make sure that those reimbursements are taken care of. Herjot, you manage the forums. You know what I mean? I'll make sure that we have the groceries here, and when these other hubs need, they'll come out here, and we'll get it to them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then Omar's just a busy guy, just overlooking everything.
Yeah.
Just keeping us in check. Dotting the I's, crossing the T's. But yeah, bro, it's just kind of everyone's just kind of a volunteer, and we're all just trying to play our part.
That's good. So I had a question about the chapter. So what does each chapter do? Do they have a certain goal that they're trying to achieve with each chapter, or is it just serving the community that's there?
So it's funny I say chapter, but there's no actual official chapter. We just say it. It's hey, we're just the team, you know what I mean? Just we just hey, we're the Bay Area team. You guys the San Jose team. Because it's easier to reference hey, we need 1,000 diapers, and it's okay, who needs it? You know what I mean? We're oh, the San Jose team needs it and stuff.
Got it.
I don't think there's a official goal of each chapter individually. It's just more of an all over goal to serve. And it's just strategically instead of you driving, you're down south, right? You're in Irvine, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's you'll take care of Irvine, and these other guys will take care of San Diego and LA, and it's just
got it.
Trying to take care of it. But it's just kind of so that way, because we all have jobs, we all have other things that we're doing. So it's just so then that way we can, the time that we do have, we can utilize it the most strategically.
Okay.
And whether that's local or whatnot.
Okay. And then sort of shifting the conversation. Well, not yet, but so what can we sort of expect from KhalsaAid USA? I mean, you hit upon it a little bit, but how about after coronavirus is over?
Yeah, sure. So I think what we're really going to push for is having these food banks permanent. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Folks in need. That's just something that I feel as a month we should have been doing. And it's fine, you know what I mean? But there's always areas of improvement. I think we're definitely what we've started doing is outreaching to shelters, Section 8 housing, things like this, to where we're the kind of point of contact, and instead of them having to hit up multiple different organizations, which they could still do, and that's great because everyone's on their own mission. It's hey, whenever you do this, just reach out to us. You know what I mean? There's a few shelters that we've got in contact with previously, but more so even now. There's one shelter, and they specifically serve underprivileged women, and they were just hey, we need women's maxi pads. And it just so happened that the last trip for the homeless before all this corona stuff happened, I accidentally ordered a shit ton of boxes.
Yeah.
Because it was 24 in a box, and I didn't realize it was 24 packs. I thought it was 24 pads. So
yeah.
A shit ton of boxes. There's a bunch of boxes at my house, and we're just oh, it's funny because we literally have a bunch of extra. And that's when all this stuff started, and everyone was ransacking shelves. It's oh, let's just go get it out to them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So now when they need things like that, they'll just regularly reach out to us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think moving forth, there's going to be that food bank, a lot more just local chapter expansions, just grassroots, getting more people involved. And I think because every chapter is kind of semi-autonomous, everyone kind of feels empowered, and I think that's also important. You know what I mean? It's not so much hey, you do this, report to me then, report to me that. Obviously there's always going to be a few folks like Omar and Amrit and maybe a few of us making sure that we all just are very wise with the Sanghat's money and this, that, and then that everyone's being served accurately and in a timely fashion. But other than that, it's kind of autonomous in that, like, nobody feels like it's like this whole, like, corporate level management, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think it's just like a lot of grassroots movements, and honestly, the way it's been going, bro, is just like, I don't think there's been like an actual plan. Like, nobody's planning for Corona, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whenever there's a major event, but I think like slowly, or actually we hope quickly, we're just like, hey, like everyone do like this once a month thing. Maybe we could do twice a month if there's enough volunteers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The food bank, that'll keep busy. Shelters and all these places, some of them sometimes for whether it's grants, whatever's going on, or they just have an influx of folks coming in, we can be there to take care of that.
Okay, that's exciting. Yeah.
And then we have a few that personally we want to do. I don't know, like one of my personal goals, and a few of my other guys that are like on the Bay Area, like Harjot, Jag, and I don't know if we'll, we're and Khalsa Aid is very open to, like, different ideas and doing different things. I don't know if it will be a Khalsa Aid thing. We hope it could be. I don't know even know if we'll be able to do it, but it's like the bigger picture. I mean, what we want to eventually do is have these houses in like one or two maybe in like underprivileged areas, and then we're taking folks who are either homeless or underprivileged or things like that, giving them a place to stay, feeding them, helping them like rehabilitate back into society, helping them fill out, job applications, helping them mock interview and things. This just helping them like stand on their own feet. And once they're on their own feet, now they have a source of income. They have like a social life. They, they're assimilating back into society. They can move out, and then now it's time for the next cohort to come in. You know what I mean? And maybe it could just be like a circle where, like, as soon as these people are out, some of these are coming back to help us, and we just keep expanding from there.
That's awesome. That's like,
I think that's what would be cool, man. Because I think all of us are kind of just like, dude, if we could impact like one life, then like,
100%.
Like, I'm going to hell as it is, so it's just like, bro, I'd rather, like, have like a little like participation badge when I'm there.
Yeah, and I'm speaking of like your like involvement with the community. I mean, you're like this, like you're doing this for the community. I think, I know you're also part of the California Sikh Youth Alliance. And if you can hit up on that, and like, cause I mean, personally, I heard about it, and I was like, and it just blew up. I think within a month, it was like the lifting competition and everything. I mean, just a little bit of background. Like, I think, well, actually, you can explain the background, like what the alliance is and like the lifting competition and everything. I'll let you do that.
Sure. So, I mean, I'll start off with where it was founded, because this doesn't give me some shit if I don't fully. I mean, the people who actually filled out the paperwork was like, I believe it was Gunarveer, Ajaypal, and it was Garm Singh. And then, so they're also from the Bay, they're from like Sac and Fremont. And then the other board members are myself. So there's Gunarveer, Ajaypal, Garm Singh, myself, Gursharanjit, and there's Shamsher, and then there's Harjot. So there's 7 of us. And basically, man, it was just like, it just kind of turned into a fitness thing, but we were just like, let's just make something where we can, just involve folks. And I myself was trying to plan out a powerlifting event, and these guys were trying to plan out a powerlifting event. And we just found out about it through another friend who who was competing. And then, like, I was just like, and a lot of us ended up knowing each other from like when we were kids, but kind of lost touch. We're like, oh, cool, let's just do this shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, we just threw together like the powerlifting event, and we were just like, we know there's a bunch of like upbringing that lift. And like,
definitely lately, especially.
Yeah, there's a lot of upbringing, man. And like, so we were just like, and we didn't know what type of response we'd get or what would happen. So it was like, hey, we're just gonna do this event. We had nothing sorted out there, like where we're gonna get equipment or anything. It was like, we're just gonna do this event, and we're just gonna make promos. And we just put it out, and then we're just like, oh, bro, like there's hella responses. What do we do? You know what I mean? Then we had to like cap registration because we weren't expecting that type of response, and it was our first time doing it. Honestly, bro, we were shocked that people, even 1 person or 2 people signed up.
Dude, you guys had people like come from all over, like from different, like from Canada too, right? Like that was like from the East Coast, Canada.
And then actually the first place winner of the highest weight class, Gurbaz, the one whose video everyone saw. Like,
everybody, it's everywhere.
Yeah, he was from New Jersey, man. And like, it was funny because when we were announcing him, I was just like, man, we used to joke saying East Coast is weak coast, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, so you're just like, that's a thing that like a lot of upbringing do, and we should be encouraging them because it's positive, and like it's positive on multiple different facets. Your own mental health, your own physical health, and just like and I think for a lot of us, it's just, we're humans, right? We're just like, hey, bro, like I'm getting jacked, I like this, you know what I mean? But also, like, when you think about it, like Guru Har Gobind Sahib used to have Singhs play kushti, you know what I mean, or do kabaddi and things like that. So we're like, we should go back to those things. Like, why do we not give the importance to physical health and all this? You know what I mean? And like, I grew up playing gatka in California, gatka dal, and like, much respect to California gatka dal, no disrespect on them at all. You know what I mean? But and I was like, that's super cool. We're preserving that art, but like, why aren't we doing even more? You know what I mean? And I feel like, and then the powerlifting ends up being like a medium ground where nobody is, I'm this way or that way, like I feel like I can't be here, or like, it's all inclusive. Like nobody has to feel like, they can't be here, they can't be this and that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like some of the other things might be like that, even though they shouldn't be, you know what I mean? And then, so yeah, there was this influx of just folks signing up, and then we're just like, oh, we got to cap registration. Then we were just like, then we had to send like waitlist emails, and some people weren't happy with us. We're like, yo, like, I'm sorry, like, we just don't know what to do, because there's like more than 100 people signed up, and like if everyone's doing 3 lifts, that's like a 2-day event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know how to do the 1-day event right now, bro. We have nothing sorted out right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it looked so well put together. I mean, at the end of the day, like the final product was amazing.
I know, dude. It was more than we could have asked for, and we're super thankful.
Yeah.
And like, it's just the Sangha that came through, the competitors just bringing through, like, their family, and like there's people that came from so far away, whether there's people who came from the Valley in Fresno, there's folks who came from down south, there's folks who came from Canada or like the East Coast, and we're just like, wow, like we really can't thank everybody enough. And even just like the Fremont Gurdwara committee, like they were super just helpful, man. They took care of the tent, the lunga. They was like, going up, what do we got this? You know what I mean?
Damn. So how was it? So you guys just had a setup outside? I couldn't attend. I wanted to.
We should definitely come to the next one. And we have some other stuff out that we're going to announce soon. And we were hoping to do something in collaboration with Jardikla Sports in the East Coast. And they've been doing this for years, and they were huge help, man. Gurbaz, that won first place for the highest weight class, he's actually a organizer for Jardikla. And they really helped us, like, with the waivers, with the structure of, like,
got it.
the signups and things like that. So their event was supposed to be, I believe, in May, and obviously with everything going on, it's canceled. We were hoping to do something in conjunction with them, or at least go out there and show support while setting up, other competitions, and those are still in the works. But yeah, so I mean, they were huge help. But sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. What was your question?
I mean, you got it pretty good. So I was actually just gonna ask another question, which was like, so is CSYA like, would it be like a fitness organization, or is it more like a community building organization?
Sure. So actually, like, we just want to be like a community building. We want to just be like the youth. We don't mean to take away from any other organization. Every other organization is doing amazing work in their own facets, right? But we were just like, like, this is just something, I don't know why, we were just like, hey, this powerlifting, it was just easier just to do it on our own, you know what I mean? Rather than, because organizations are busier with bigger projects, and we're like, you know what, it's a small event, like, we could probably do it, and they're working on much bigger things, and like, it ended up being a great turnout, man. Like, we couldn't have like asked for any more. It was super dope. And the morning of, we were just like, man, like, shit, like, it was just like, everyone's supposed to be there 8:30 to 10:30 to check in, and opening, right? So it's like, Dad, we have like 4 competitors. We're literally calling competitors like, hey, are you guys gonna come? Are you guys gonna come? And then like 11 o'clock noon hit, and everyone's just then like, all right, cool, you know what I mean? And then 2 of our refs were like from outside, just to really make sure there's no like, misjudgment or anything like that. Everyone has a fair chance, and like, there are a few mistakes which us as organizers made. Like, there were a few weights which got put on wrong a few different times and stuff. And like, we genuinely apologize for those. And we did whatever we could to fix them. Like, hey man, like, we'll give you another attempt. It's okay. We kind of messed it up. It was just so hectic. You know what I mean? And the part that was so dope, bro, was every competitor was like, no, I understand, man. It's all good. You know what I mean? And then we were expecting slack. Like, yo, man, you missed on my lift. And they're like, no, dude, like, this is still.
Dude, everything just seemed all love there.
Dude,
like,
it was like behind the curtain of the warm-up area. It's just like every athlete was just like, yo, bro, like, I got you on chalk, bro, like, lift like this. Oh, bro, you don't got a belt on chalk committee belt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's amazing.
As well. And by no means do we mean to discredit the BBA, you know what I mean? They were also, they're doing a lot of work. And like, we just didn't include them in the video as much because we didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, you know what I mean? Because people are lifting and things like that. But dude, like, and even the BBA that showed out, and we're just like, and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, and they're putting in work too, the blowers were there as well. And we hope there'll be a bigger turnout next time, you know what I mean? And
what was the turnout this time, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, for competitors, it was about 60, 70.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of folks are like, oh, you told me I was waitlisted, so I didn't come. And we're like, it's okay, because everyone ended up getting 3 events, and it still went late to the night. you know what I mean? And then there was Sangat. I think Langar was originally prepared for about 200 people, and like I would say a third of the way in, one of the committee uncles was like, "What the langar muk gaya ki kariye?" I was just like,
Oh.
I don't know. So I started like, I was like, "Hey, Ajifal, Kanavi, bro, what do you do?" And then
Yeah.
somebody ordered some pizza and stuff. We're like, "All right, cool." So all in all, I think there was about like 350, 400 people
Wow.
plus that came in and out of the tent and whatnot. So it ended up being a huge turnout, man. And I think like, and I think that the coolest part was the athletes all just like, it was like a family to each other, and it was like competitive sportsmanship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like healthy competitive sportsmanship. It wasn't like knocking each other down. It's like, nah, bro, you hit that, and then I'm gonna try to hit it. Not like, oh man, I'm not like, dude. People are like, bro, I've never hit these numbers before, but like,
it's healthy competition.
everyone's just out here hyping each other up. So like, then like, and everyone's in your face like, bye, jockey, cookie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me mute it for a second to train.
Okay. Okay. No worries. No worries.
Yeah. So and I think the cool thing is we had a few Bapujis show up as well. I think one.
I saw that. Yeah.
He was about 84 years old. His homie came to, I think he was in the 70s or 80s as well. And man, they were putting in work. And then my grandfather was there, and he was like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and I think that's the more important part of it, right? Like us as Sikhs, there's a bunch of us always lifting and like, trying to help each other and things like this. But we need to put a spotlight more on like, elders and BBN as well, you know what I mean? Because like it's not always as easy for a BB, because of certain things like, oh, you know what I mean? Like there's some BB that are uncomfortable because that's just like their society. So we need to make a comfort zone for them, where it helps them grow as well, and it helps them, just do everything that we can do while feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a major part of it. And so your question, it's not just a fitness organization. A lot of people were getting the notion, we're like, no, dude, we'll still do this powerlifting event once a year. We're going to do multiple other events. We want to like partner up with a few of these other guys that do things like Young Kings Foundation, Pritwal and them. Pritwal and do super dope work. Pritwal came out and like really just helped out, man. He's there from the beginning to the end, with his spotting, taking care of the table. And it was just like, because he's done these events and it was just like, bro, he was just helping us so much. So it's like we want to do things in conjunction with these other organizations and slowly all just start like coming together. You know what I mean? And we want to go further than just fitness. Actually, this Saturday we're gonna do an online live on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be PZ Fitness and another thing, and they'll be answering any and all questions that folks have about diet, things like that. And then slowly we want to start incorporating that into mental health as well. And then another thing we do have is in the next week or so, we're going to have Amar Singh from Canada. I don't know if you know Amar Singh. He does a lot of, he does commentary in Punjabi for the Olympics and hockey and things like that.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and he always used to come out whenever we had Gatka competitions and Gatka announce. He was actually going to come to the event and announce. We had some family stuff come up last minute. So we're going to get him on a live next week at some point. Off the CSYA live and his live, so his followers can see and our followers can see.
Wow.
And that would just be like any and all questions that folks have about Sikh, you know what I mean? Because the whole point is like, to grow as a bond, mentally, physically, but also like, we should know the basics of our bond as well, you know what I mean? And like, man, I'm not the greatest person out there, so it'll be like a good brush up for me and a good area for me to reconsider myself as well. But I think for a lot of folks, it's just to create another platform where people are comfortable. You know what I mean? A lot of folks our age are on Instagram and stuff, and it's just like, hey man, can you explain this? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
hey,
100%.
You know what I mean? Or like, what's the importance of like physical fitness and thinking? What's pyar bar pyar? You know what I mean? We should always be pyar bar pyar.
Yeah.
And that's just to protect ourselves and others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just things like that, and it's just like we're just gonna leave that one just completely open-ended. Like we want to do like subject this one, like, nah, man, just let people ask whatever questions they want. Let it go whichever way it's gonna go. We'll have it for like an hour and a half, and then we'll do another one after that, just based off like the most questions that are asked. Is break this into this section. You know what I mean? Like, hey, today we're gonna talk about the importance of fitness and Sikhi. Today we're gonna talk about like the importance of KS and Sikhi. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's where people like, I want to tune this one, I want to tune to that one. You know what I mean? While not oversaturating it, but still giving folks like this open platform.
It's like sort of like a resource as well, right? Like for these young Sikhs, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
We're in our young 20s, right? And like none of us are like the greatest Sikhs, but we're just trying. You know what I mean? It's just like an everyday challenge, right? But that's just like people like Amar Singh and these guys, where they're older. They have Gurbani Vidya. They've done Katha, you know, they've done their Sampian, things like that, where they know a lot more Sakya stuff, you know what I mean? And maybe we could get on like some folks like, have you heard of Javala? I think is his name. He does like Suraj podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe folks like him and stuff, you know what I mean? And I thought that was a super,
Yeah,
super,
those guys are great individuals.
I've never heard English, Katha in English at that accessibility, you know what I mean? Spotify, SoundCloud, all this stuff. And
Yeah.
Suraj is like, you know, the history, the oldest history we have, you know what I mean? Compiled together. And he's just like, you know, taking each chapter at hand, doing katha in English on these platforms which are easily accessible.
Yeah.
I thought super dope approach. And hopefully we could start getting people like that involved on live sessions, you know what I mean? We're very knowledgeable and just like whatever questions folks want to ask, it's like, it's much easier then.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And then I was also gonna mention, like, I mean, I was gonna just mention another thing you guys did, which was like the Afghan Sikhs matching like the donations and stuff. So like, I had another question, like, where does you guys' funding and everything all come from? Like, how are you guys putting on these major events?
So some good donations and personal as well.
Okay.
We footed some personal, and there's some good donations. And there's a numerous amount of folks who donated, some trucking companies and things like that. And then at the event, there were some folks who donated at the table. And then we had shirts and shaker bottles. So we made a little bit of money off of that. That folks had, you know, purchased some, and at the end we just ended up giving whatever we had away for free at the end, because we're just like, hey, we have some extras, and we've already got some donations where we could like, you know, make up for like whatever remainder balance was for today. So just give the shirts out, you know what I mean? And there has been, like, I believe it was UC Berkeley Sikh Student Association, and I believe Sacramento Sikh Youth Association. What do they call it? And I've been on college for a minute. What is it called? SSA or SCA?
Oh yeah, SSA, yeah. SSA or SCA.
For the Afghan Sikhs, Berkeley SSA and Sacramento SSA also helped foot the bill. And even that, I know a few folks got mad at us, but we're just like, man, we weren't expecting this response. And like, besides me, everybody else is still in college. Ajibal is in law school right now, but everybody else is still in undergrad. And we're just like, man, there's only so much we could do. You know what I mean? We're trying to do. So once it hit like 4,200, we're like, man, like the personal stuff that we have versus and what we've kind of collected it through there, because we still need some money to put on future events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's a lot.
Yeah, and again, it's just like another learning lesson. Like, yeah, it should have been on us to be like, hey, we'll cap it off at this much. But once it hit like 4,200, so we're like, bro, like this is already like more than way more than we were expecting. Let's just like scrape it all together and let's just let the Sangha know, like, hey,
it was pretty quick too.
Yeah, and I think the coolest part of that was it brought together interaction, because there's some folks that literally just by liking it, it helped them feel like they were part of it. You know what I mean? They were part of the donation. And it's like, hey, you know, I liked it and I shared it. I feel like I'm doing my part as well. And there's people who even commented on the posting and DM'd us saying, hey, if it wasn't for this post being shared, and a lot of folks shared it because they knew what it would lead to, they're just like, you know, if I didn't see that shared, I wouldn't know what this was about. And now I liked it. I've also went to the link and donated myself, as well as, you know, shared it with my family. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then, like, I was like, even like again, like talking about the alliance again. So like, what, like, how? I mean, I know this is a really hard question to answer, and I know like I don't want to compare you to other organizations, but like, again, like, what's sort of the mindset behind it? Like, it's like you were saying, like it's to like cater more towards like more like a resource, right? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just trying to get like a general idea of like
I got
broader organization.
Sure. So like, honestly, I don't think we're not in this to compete with any of the other organizations. I don't think we can. They're just so great. The amount of work they do is great. We couldn't ever like match up to that. But it was honestly, man, just California Sikh Youth Alliance. Like we need something for the youth where it's run by the youth. You know what I mean? And it literally just caters to what the youth wants. Like we don't have like a set agenda besides, you know, being an open place for everyone to come and just constantly doing these events where they bridge in our normal Western life with Sikhi and the importance of them in Sikhi, you know what I mean? And just kind of getting everyone to know each other. So that's a thing. And literally there's like, so we're just kind of like, we're just leaving it to what the Sangha wants essentially.
Got it. We're
letting the Sangha cater it to what they want. Like, hey, what type of events do you guys want? Cool, we're going to do that. You know what I mean? And then like, how do these things, obviously they have to tie into Sikhi, like, we're not going to go through parties and stuff. But, it's like, hey, you know, what do you want to do? And then, okay, let's see how this ties in Sikhi. Perfect. You know what I mean? Like, and these guys are gonna kill me for saying this, but like one of the things that I want to do is like skeet shooting. You know what I mean? You know, there's a bunch of guys in the valley and stuff, and a bunch of BBN as well in the valley that shoot. You know what I mean? And we're like, why hasn't there been like a skeet shooting competition for upbringing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's so much importance about you read Shastan Mala, right?
Mm-hmm.
The gun is mentioned there, right? Topuk. You know, Baba Deep Singh Ji had a gun. It's just like Shastan, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We should know how to use them. And that's just very like basic Sikhi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But things like that, then people come on like, hey, let's go skeet shooting. You know what I mean?
That's
Maybe
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
and obviously there's gonna be much more logistics that come with that, and
Yeah.
much more like safety with that. We did have our
Mm-hmm.
safety as best as we could this time. You know what I mean? Like our waivers. Kunarbi's sister Preethvir is in med school. We had a few other folks who were in med school. Some off-duty EMT friends that were there. You know,
Okay.
and we tried to do our best. And then the rest, man, you just you just go with the flow, right?
I mean, you were saying like you guys just started, and like, I mean, you guys put on like from my end, like what I saw on social media was an amazing event. Like, I'm just so surprised within like 2 months you guys had it like.
Dude, it was
I don't even think it was 2 months, like maybe less than that. Like,
yeah,
you
no,
guys
it was,
like
yeah, it was actually about like 2 months when we announced it, I believe in
December-ish, I think.
I want to say December-ish, right? Like
Yeah.
we not sure, and then it was in February, so we kind of
Yeah.
get like
So,
let's prepare. But honestly, bro, like we were just like, Mikey, like we have all these
yeah.
people, like, oh shit, we gotta send them an email. All right, who's gonna write up the email? You know what I mean? First,
Yeah.
things like that, and then like the last few weeks, man, we were just shitting bricks. We're like, where's the equipment? Oh my god! And
Yeah.
shout out to Vic, our boy. He owns in a partnership. He owns Bay Area he owns Old School Iron. It's a huge like powerlifting gym. They have multiple locations. It's like the mecca of like NorCal powerlifting.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
they let us rent it for some really good rates. Help deliver it, set it up, and all that.
That's amazing.
And it just saves so much time, man. Like little things we learned, like they were just like, hey, you should use these racks where like there's levers and you can change the height without even taking the weights off. You know what I mean? And that's things that people would have thought of. And they put on like USPA powerlifting meets and stuff. And it was just so funny because one of the refs that we had hired, who's Kunarbi's friend, and he got there. He's like old school iron. He's like, I'm an old school iron athlete. I'm sponsored by them. How'd you get their equipment?
What?
Man. And it's just like little things, man. Like the dolls, we had these dolls made. One big doll for men's overall, one big doll for floors overall. Engraved with like gold engraving on Servlo, like overall champion.
Wow.
And those two, man, like they came from Amritsar the week of. Like I was calling like, bike it's not right. I don't know how they got here in time, but it was just like, but like, man, things came together. It was hectic, but like, you know, our squad stuck through, and there were just so many other people that came through and helped last minute as well. And it was just a Sangha effort, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it saw so many people come together. Like, it was amazing to see that many people. And then, I mean, we're almost at 45 minutes, almost an hour. But so I one last question for you. So I know you guys are Northern California based right now. So do you guys see, like, I mean, it's California Sikh Youth Alliance. So do you guys see like a shift coming down to Southern California?
Oh yeah, dude. We definitely want to do some stuff. The guys in the Central Valley, man, shout out to them. They brought out the whole team. It's like Sukhpal, it was like Prithpal, their homie Sim signed them up and just brought everyone out, Gandeep, and they brought like a whole squad out, man. They came in tracksuits saying like 5'9" they shade and stuff. I was like, man, I want one of those. They still haven't given it to me, so if you guys are watching, so I still want my hoodie. But man, those guys are super pumped, and they're like, hey, like, you know, come do it here in Fresno. We'll sort out like the logistics of like the grounds, and you guys come put it on. Let's do it. And we're like, yeah, dude, that's what we want to do. You know what I mean? We want to expand it. We want to do something in SoCal. Kind of wanted to do like you were on board for Bruin Bangla, right?
No, not me.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay, well, you went to UCLA though, right?
I went to UC Irvine.
Oh, my bad. I thought you went to UCLA because I'm.
No, you're good.
I'm UCLA. But
yeah.
So you know, like Bruin Bangla, like they have this event in LA, and then everyone flies, and then there's like days that everyone's there just kicking in things like that. You know, we're gonna do things like that as well. You know what I mean? Maybe in LA or somewhere, you know, and use that kind of same philosophy if they've used its work. You know, and just have like whether it's a powerlifting event or like a basketball tourney or something. You know what I mean? But it's just like it just forces everyone to come together, and then like everyone's just there for like 2-3 days and just kicking it with each other and stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and bro, like as cheesy as it sounds, like after the event, like I was like, bro, this is like a family. Like these guys, like the guys and the girls that were competing, it was just like a family, man. Everyone just so dope, and it's just like people that you never met before, just hyping each other up. And when people met before, like, hey, yo, good looks on this and that, you're like, yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. You just feel like you've known each other for so long.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what matters too, you know, like.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I mean, that's all I have for you. Do you want to add anything else? Any other message? Anything?
anybody wants to get involved with Khalsa Aid, please do. We'll kind of set you guys up with everything, whether it's like stuff with the COVID response, whether it's things that are ongoing. Please definitely like, share, and support the Khalsa Aid USA page so we can reach out to more folks.
I'll tag them in here too.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
And obviously, I have to do some shameful branding. Please do that for CSYA as well.
Yeah.
You know, we really appreciate you guys like, support, sharing of that. Actually, like the CSYA, we uploaded the recap of the event like a few days afterwards. And shout outs to JJ Batty, I'm sure you know him, Jaspreet. What I forget what his film company is called.
Snapcraft.
Film Snapcraft. There we go. Yeah, and dude, he just covered the whole event, and then our homie Gorman took pictures and stuff. Suburban Terms. So shout out to those two, man. We uploaded their stuff on the drive and on the page like a week or so after the event. On my personal page, I actually just uploaded the powerlifting event again yesterday because I was just like, I want to, and it's just so nostalgic, and everyone's like, man, we feel like it was yesterday. But just things like those for us personally, we're like, man, like it's just helping us get through all the stuff that's going on right now. You know what I mean? Just like when this gets back to it, we're gonna put on like. We're gonna put shit on like this, bigger and better. You know, we bring more people together, and like, and then there's also another facet of it is like at that event, we were also able to raise some money for Khalsa Aid. You know what I mean? We did it kind of fundraisers for Khalsa Aid, and you know, and this isn't just because I'm involved myself, but it's like I know firsthand where that money's going. You know what I mean? I've been involved, not to knock any other organization. You know what I mean? So it's just like we're gonna continue doing that. You know what I mean? Because we should have a meaning and purpose behind it as well. You know? But yeah, that's about it, man. And everyone just be safe with everything that's going on.
Yeah, stay safe, everybody, and thank you, bro, so much. Like, you're doing some amazing work. I appreciate for sharing, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, of course. Yeah, all right. That's it from us, guys. We'll catch you guys later. There you go. He knows.